So you were 14 when you started rapping. Why did the street get so out of control?
Just me being broke my whole life and knowing how much stress and anxiety, how much pain come with that. The possibility of permanently removing that, that's a strong form of motivation. It'll make you put that rap to the side. I kind of fell back from the music car making so much money in the streets. That's when everything started taking off.
With what?
With emotion, nigga, I caught a plug. When it came time for me to snap, I go out there myself and bring back 100.
How would you bring 100 pounds back?
The mail.
Nino Breeze is one of the hottest up-and-coming rap artists in America. He just dropped a single that's going viral with Rick Ross, who signed him to his record label for a huge 7-figure contract. Nino was a longtime weed kingpin who grew up in the slums of St. Petersburg, Florida. He found his niche as a drug trafficker by shipping pounds of weed through the mail from Humboldt County to his home in Southwest Florida. In 2018, he was arrested in a DEA sting that netted almost 300 pounds of weed and landed Nino in prison for almost 6 years. While he was down, he focused in hard on his rapping, and by the time he hit the street, he was already buzzing in the Florida underground. Then Rick Ross heard one of his singles, jumped on the track, and the rest is history. Nino now travels the country opening up for Ross and promoting his new music. Make sure to go download him on Spotify right now and follow him on all socials. I with this man and his music, and I promise you will too. Nino Breeze, right here on The Connect with Johnny Mitchell.
Once I ran across that plug, it felt like a nigga, bruh, like damn, it was printing the money. I didn't know anybody else in my circle, in my city that had that going at that time. It was just easy to fly under the radar. I go to open the gate for him to let him in, and then he grabbed me. And he started saying, police, police, police. Then I started looking around, and these bitches jumping out of bushes. They coming from behind cars. The police was everywhere. I was charged with a 924C, which is using a gun in the furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, which carries 5 years to life.
You must have thought your rap career was done.
Definitely thought about it. Yeah.
That's when I see lights behind me start to flash. And I didn't even think, I just hit it. I was driving like my life depended on it. Then I parked the car, hopped out, closed the door, and I started running. And he pulls out a burner, a shank, it's like 6 inches. Then he passes it to me, and he goes, here, that's yours. Don't ever leave the cell block without this. He was the reason I made it out of that place alive. So you're kind of next up.
Most definitely. It's feeling like the #1 draft pick out of Florida.
And you just came home, basically. Like you're fresh off the streets.
Yeah, pretty much fresh out. You know what I'm saying? It took me a little while to catch my groove or whatever, get familiar with the new ways, like the new looks, the new sounds. But it's like once I caught it, you feel me? It's in me, not on me. It's on that amount of time. So,
How long you been rapping?
On time. I've been rapping for 18 years.
Wow. That's what it takes, right?
Yeah, I've been rapping since I was 14. I mean, it could have popped off sooner, but, a nigga really hands-on with this. Mm-hmm. So, a couple trials and tribulations, a couple roadblocks on the way.
Well, plus now you have to rap about. Like back in the day, rappers got on at 20. Mm-hmm. Snoop was 20 when The Chronic came out.
Yeah.
And so most of the street he's talking about is either hype or it's not very serious because you're a kid. You don't really have time to live all that. I feel like rappers now, because of the internet, just like comedians, other entertainers, can get on later.
Definitely.
And you really live that you talk about.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of that. I feel like the rap game is just a big gangster party. You feel me? Like, I feel like because I'm cut from that cloth, I feel like I can recognize it when I see it. And majority of these niggas that's on and talking that, at least the ones that I tune into, I could tell they the real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like when I was younger coming up, I mean, I feel like some of them dudes might have been from the hood or might have been a little street, but I still feel like they were being groomed into being, like superstar.
Yeah.
Versus now, you getting this, you feel me, like blood raw, like Ground Zero report live from the sewer.
Like in real time almost.
Niggas talking about what they did last week. They not talking about, they just like my little nigga Vol, he gonna tell you what he did that day.
Right. Over a rap song.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and that's also, they're kind of telling on themselves too. I'm pretty sure prosecutors are using people's raps to make cases.
It's going on.
But what is it, the drill rap? That's
the drill rap.
That's where everybody's themselves, right?
The drill rap. You got so many like different varieties of this. You got motion music, you feel me? You got trap music, drill rap, of course.
Is your music trap music? Would you consider that trap?
I mean, That's a bag I could get into. That's a bag I could get into, but like I ain't gonna lie though, I don't even got no
niche.
I don't got no category that I could put it into as far as like that a whole lot of niggas in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to find a way to articulate it. I'm still defining it, but if I was gonna say anything, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how like when you in the feds, you know they got fed lingo, be like, I'm on man time, I'm on real nigga time, cause like different niggas be on different time. You might be on blood time or you might be on your dean, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you just on man time or real nigga time, I mean, anywhere that you plant your feet, you know what I'm saying? You just standing on morals, principles, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to create that sonically.
Yeah.
If that make any sense. Like just some G code, just some real nigga, like, you feel me? Like music for silent niggas that got morals and principles that they standing on, you feel me? I'm gonna give you some flavor too, but
well, I liked it when when I was listening to you, just kind of getting ready for this interview. I liked that you were lyrical, but you have that still melodic sound that's from the South. You know?
you best of both, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, cause it still gotta be exciting, you know what I'm saying? It still gotta be something that can engage them, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really like bubblegum. So that's why I've been working on my craft the way that I do so that I can do both simultaneously.
Well, Florida isn't known for its rappers, right? Like nobody, I mean, look, there was like Uncle Luke from the 2 Live crew, who was a gimmick. Trick Daddy, hard, kind of a gimmick. By the way, you don't have to talk any if you don't want to. I'm going to do all this talking about rappers.
Them boys legends of mine.
Yeah, they are legends, but on a mass marketing perspective, from a hip hop connoisseur, I would call myself. They weren't taken seriously as rappers. I don't think outside of
probably not like bar for bar lyrically.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe not as far as like having the most substance. I mean, I feel like Trick made that resonated with the streets though. But I like our way.
I think Rick Ross was the one though to kind of break Miami's Florida music out to a wider audience, and he had some longevity.
He the biggest. He the best to ever do it from the crib.
Yeah.
It's like if you look at the run the man had, like how long he been able to stay on top, and like how much money he done made, how many trends he done set, how many niggas he done put on. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody else from FLA that done ripped the game harder than Dog did.
Now, and the single you have with them is called what?
Type of Nigga.
Yes, I knew what it was called. I just thought you'd say it instead of me.
I
but no, it really goes.
Yeah.
But again, he took a lot of heat back in the day because people were like, this guy was a CO, a corrections officer. Which, by the way, we all know corrections officers are dirty. They're with the.
Yeah,
they're involved in it much of the time. But you don't have to worry about anybody accusing you of rapping about that you didn't do because I think you were pretty thorough.
Yeah, it ain't no mystery in my history. Everything verified. You could type my name in, you're gonna see what it's based on.
You're from St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
And I didn't know there were any black people in St. Petersburg until I met you.
A lot of niggas in St. Petersburg.
That's wild.
Yeah, but like that's not what they gonna market to like the tourists or whatever. They want to show you the beaches, and I know we got like the tennis courts and the golf course and all that. But I mean, just like most cities in Florida, like you go to Orlando, they got Disney World. Where you go to the West Side, it's something different. You go to Miami, you go to South Beach, but then you can go to Poke and Beans or the Matchbox Projects, and it's something different. You know what I'm saying? So in St. Pete, it's the South Side. Historically, that's where all the black people at.
Yeah.
So it's like once you get to the South Side, bro, as soon as you leave one hood, you in another. And once you leave Jamestown, you damn near Bethel Heights. Once you leave Bethel Heights, you might be at Bartlett, like Cross 9. Once you leave Cross 9, you in Harbordale. Once you leave Harbordale, it's 38. Then you might go up the street a little more. You in Auburn Park, you in Jordan Park, you in Childs Park. We got Shady Side, Dove Ave, 33rd, Trefo.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm naming these bitches, bro, and I'm still forgetting. You got Play Lot. I'm still forgetting.
So you were 14 when you started rapping. Why did the street get so out of control by the end?
I mean,
obviously you needed money, right?
Yeah. Nigga just needed some pay. You feel me? Because like the rap wasn't making a nigga no money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just it wasn't a lot of resources, coming from where I come from. So I took to the streets. And I mean, even I didn't expect to blow up like the way that I did. Like, I didn't even all the way knew I possessed some of the skills that I had, but it's like once I tried my hand, you know what I'm saying? It was a natural, so the money was coming in and just went to taking off.
Right. That was my story too. I'd never expected it to blow up the way it did.
Yeah.
You know? So you kind of have to take an opportunity. The street shit's a lot like show business. You kind of got to take the door if it opens.
Yeah, you got to strike while iron hot. Like when I had my run last time, I was like, well, I play this right, I'll never be broke again.
Mm-hmm.
And just me being broke my whole life and knowing how much stress and anxiety, how much pain come with that. The possibility of permanently removing that for me and my loved ones, like that's a strong form of motivation. It'll make you put that route to the side.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, Jeezy talks about that. He was in the recording studio in Atlanta where he kept all the work. You know, and he had pies. Like he was really, you know.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Like Jeezy, one of the ones who even behind the G-Wall, they was vouching for Dog. I was locked up with niggas from Georgia, like, yo, Dog got it in. Yeah,
he really got it in, but I think it was T.I. who told them, you can't have it both ways. Like, you're going to have to put the drugs down at a certain point and make the jump. Because you can't have everything for free, right? Like, it's not like few rappers have this, like, seamless, okay, I'm putting out mixtapes, but I'm also bringing in a ton of drug money. But no problem. Then I'm going to get on and just leave the streets behind. Like, it usually doesn't work that way. You either take a fall or you got to say, I got to sacrifice like every artist and make a leap of faith. I think that's how the universe works, you know?
I mean, and you got to understand it's competitive. So it's like, like me as a street nigga, you feel me? Like, I be knowing like if I wanted to, I could jump back in that lane, but then I wouldn't be focused. Then you got some niggas who this route is all they got. So then 24/7, this what they own. They taking pictures, they making videos, they in the studio, they networking, they moving their feet. You not gonna be able to compete with them.
If you got the feds on you, you're worried about getting killed.
You're not gonna be able to compete with them. So it's like if you want to be able to lead your stand and really make a mark, create a wave in it, especially like initially, cause like that's the hardest part, making that transition into being recognized or being a household name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All the money gets spent on artists at the beginning of their career to break them. Once you make them a household name, they generate money. So it's like, even if you is dishing something out, it's like they generating it. You know what I'm saying? You might spend, like they might spend real talk, like $2-3 million to break an artist, but once they break them, he'll make the money for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that initial wave is what it's all about, bro. So it's like the same time while the label working, you got to be working. It just got to be, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to leave anything to chance.
Isn't it better to have your own money if you can at the beginning so you don't have to get that advance? Like you can $2 or $3 million that goes to music videos and features and like that. It's better when they don't have to spend it, when you can spend it.
I mean, for me, the way that we ripping it, you feel me? Like Ross a player, you know what I'm saying? If it's an opportunity to make a move and he feel like it's a good look, he gonna spin it. You know what I'm saying? Ross gonna drop the bag. But at the same time, I got my own paper and I might scope out, you know what I'm saying? Like this whole interview, like this come off for like something I wanted to do. So it's like I could have like hollered at Ross, been like, hey bro, you think you could pay for a flight? You think you could pay for a hotel? I ain't do that. I just came out here and made it happen because I knew it was gonna be a good look. So it's like there'll be plays he put in motion, plays I put in motion, and then you just put all the momentum together.
Right.
And it made the wave crazier. So like for me, that's been the benefit of me having my own money.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like I could initiate my own plays, and you know what I'm saying. When I be opening up for Raw, so we be going to these different clubs. I'm always pushing up, clean. You know what I'm saying? Just putting on, making the brand look good.
You're very professional. You didn't show up with 20 goons.
Nah,
I appreciate it. Just one reliable white guy. Every rapper, no matter how hood, needs a poorly dressed, reliable white guy to get you weed, to get you recording studio time. What else do you guys? Sound like my father.
Get a job done. So.
Okay, so you're on Rick's label, but let's talk about this. Is exciting. Let's talk about how we get to it. So you're a teenager. What's home life like?
And, I'm the oldest of 7 kids.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, my mama got 7 kids. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. And a lot of my younger siblings, they have like medical conditions and things like that. So my mama was always taking them to physical therapy and different. Like she was always in and out of the hospital, so she couldn't hold down a job just because of how demanding it was keeping up with all the kids. So just coming up, we ain't had shit. And then me being the oldest, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna put me in a spot where it's like whenever something do come through, I'd rather the younger ones get that because I can kind of get out here and fend for myself.
Right.
So
was Pops around?
Yeah, my daddy, I mean, he did what he could, but he ain't have a lot either. Like my daddy work hard, but like he ain't like, he don't have like certain skills to where it's like he got PhDs or no like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was in the military for as long as he could be. And he always did like physical labor, like load trucks and stuff like that. So when he got older, that got kind of like rough for him.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So like he did what he could. My old boy, I ain't gonna lie, like he used to come through and like do stuff for my mama's kids that wasn't his, like Christmas time, birthdays, all that.
Yeah.
He did what he could.
So you really had nobody to show you the street except your surroundings, probably your peers.
Yeah,
I
ain't gonna lie, like the clique of niggas that I joined all the posts with, we all just learned from each other, like crashing out, like, okay, like we learned, like, yo, I ain't had no big homie, no big brothers, nothing like that. Like it was just like from just getting out there and learning from our own experiences, which is what led to like a lot of the unnecessary bids and shit like that.
What were you, was it at the beginning it was weed or what?
I started off selling weed. I started selling dope like right after I started selling weed though. But it's just like, you know.
Dope is heroin?
Nah, St. Pete, dope is crack.
Okay.
You
That's like it is on the West Coast. It's dope is synonymous for really anything, but
yeah,
okay. I just want to make
like,
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, when we say dope in St. Pete, we probably talking about crack. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but like, you know, the crack game ain't what it is, or what it was. But I know back in the day, like when I was like a jit, you feel me? That's what it was. But like, you know, we kids, so we ain't really having like no plugs. Niggas ain't even having transportation. Right. So it's like the drugs, it wasn't really like giving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once a nigga went to like with the robberies and the burglaries, it was like just for the type of resources we had at the time, it was more lucrative for us. Yeah. So then I kind of like started like doing more and more of that. And that's how I started racking up all them charges. You know what I'm saying? I got charged an adult for like 8 burglaries. And then even though they charged me as an adult, they sentenced me as a juvenile. But because I got charged as an adult, it still went on my adult record. So then when I got out, I had got another burglary. It was just like 1, but even though it was just 1, I was still on juvenile probation. So in Florida, at least, if you violate probation with a new charge, they reopen all your cases as if they brand new. Wow. So now I'm 19 with 9 burglary charges. And then like my most recent one, because of the severity of it was a PBL and all kind of shit. So I was facing like 17 years. But what spared me was, just like I said, they got to reopen the cases as if they brand new. So if you reopen my cases, I don't have no record, and you got to treat me kind of like a 16-year-old with no record. So that's how I ended up getting, I think 2.5 years.
Not bad.
Followed by 2 years of community control and I think 2 years of probation.
So then, were you still rapping when you were on the inside? Like, were you writing raps?
Definitely. That's why I got shot.
Yeah.
Cause like the way that it went in there, you know, in Florida, like we ain't too big on like the punchline battle rap type thing. But like it was still kind of like we was battle rap because it'll be like, you know, I'm from St. Pete. So then like, let's say niggas will get in the day room, go to beating on the wall, beating on the table, niggas will start rapping. And then it's like, if a nigga from Orlando or a nigga from Jacksonville were kind of like taking off, my homeboys would come get me like, hey boy, Mr. Nigga out there, rapping, he think he sliding, we need you to come smash him type. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of go out there and rip. 9 times out of 10, really damn near every time, I'm gonna outshine whoever it is.
Okay,
you know
so you were talented, you were nice from the jump.
I was nice before I started getting locked up. Like even when I was, when I first, I had been rapping, but I first made up my mind I wanted to be a rapper when I was 14, my freshman year. I remember being in the locker room at in gym class.
Yeah.
And niggas being up by my. So I've been had that girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it is
that.
kind of as a musician. You either kind of have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's kind of like balling, hooping, or playing sports. Like it's pretty evident from a very young age. Like this person's got the goods.
Yeah, I be feeling like the number one thing that determines whether or not a nigga can make it as a rapper is if people take you serious enough to listen to you when you rap. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say I'm making a song, if you say I'm making a video, even if it's on a small scale, because it started small for me.
Yeah.
But in my little clique, in my little neighborhood, in my little circle, like if I said I'm finna drop a new mixtape or drop a new song, everybody finna tune in, you feel me? Like if I'm in the locker room and I'm going in, niggas stop what they doing and listen. If I'm in the day room and I'm taking off, niggas stop and listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the ability for people to want to tune in to what you got to say, you're not going to be able to make it as no rapper.
Yeah, I think they have to take you seriously, even if you're not a serious artist. Like there's people who, especially now, white rappers, you know, are not gangster at all. Like Lil Dicky is like he's a dork. He's a self-proclaimed Jewish kind of dorky kid, but he owns himself so much that people still take that seriously because they see that he's being authentic.
They take
people really got to believe you.
Yeah, they take interest in it. Just like you could have a nigga like Yo Gotti, who I feel like Yo Gotti can rap. I feel like he got better as a rapper, but at one point, I don't feel like he was rapping as good as like Wayne or no shit like that. But it was just like he epitomized something. He embodied something. Like when a nigga used to get on the tracks, he used to sound like the biggest dope boy from St. Pete, from Tampa, from whatever city you were from. Like that's what mode he'll put you in. Whoever the big dog was in your city, gotta have the same type swag.
Right.
So it's like niggas could tune into it. They tapped into it.
Yeah, swag is very important amongst, we'll just call it like black rap. Like that you look, it's almost like being an actor. Look is and Rick Ross embodies marketing. It's self-marketing.
Yeah, that nigga Rose sauces.
You know, but it comes from the look, and the voice. Voice is so important. You got a really distinct guttural Florida melodic voice. And a lot of that you just can't teach.
Yeah,
you know. Unlike podcasting, anybody can do it. But wow, okay, so you're in the day room, you're honing your skills. Yeah. What a nightmare for a guy who's in there for DUIs. And he just wants to get some sleep. And you got these young, black, rambunctious kids staying up all night rapping.
We'll be in that bitch making all that noise. And then one of the old niggas will be like, boy, be quiet. Y'all making too much noise. We tell the nigga, bond out. Why you still here, bitch? We been. Right. This is what's going on.
Yeah. You're not listening to that. Okay. So, but this is kind of like playtime. What is the state? You're doing a state bid? That sounds easy.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, the state bid was the realest one.
Really?
Yeah, that bit was rocking. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was a youthful offender when I went in, so I went to something called a JIT camp. So a JIT camp is like where everybody is young. Like, it said go up to 24, but I don't remember seeing nobody 24 in there. Everybody was like maybe 20 at the most. Like I was 20, I was down there one of the oldest, so usually, like, for you to be that young and end up in prison, like, for them to not come up with some type of alternative for you, you done did something pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? So the majority of people that I was locked up with was just violent-ass niggas, dog. Like, niggas with home invasions and aggravated assaults with bodily disfigurements and crazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, when I went to state prison, dog, they sent me to Lancaster. Lancaster, it was always rocking, but it got particularly bad because the worst JIT count was Brevard, and they closed Brevard. So then all the niggas from Brevard kind of ended up at Lancaster. Some of them ended up at Lake City, but Lake City was a private facility. It wasn't state ran. So since it was a private facility, you know, they had different rules. You might go get a haircut or something. You could cut yourself like shaving, start bleeding. If the CO see it, they're going to shut the whole compound down, do an investigation, run the cameras, and figure out what happened. So as far as, like, people just fighting and getting off, that wasn't really going on now. Versus at Lancaster, the police beat your ass, the niggas beat your ass. It's just gladiator school, you feel me? Survival of the fittest. That's where I landed at. So, yeah, old time I was in there, that it was going on. Broomsticks up, niggas, they was lighting niggas on fire. All kind of crazy ass niggas doing all this for Zuzus and Wham Whams, nigga like little cakes and shit on commissary.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People lighting people's nuts on fire?
Yeah.
It sounds like a joke, but that's...
It's great, y'all serious. Dead for real.
Wow.
It was what was going on, cause like, I don't know, it's like, it'd be crazy how like, psychologically, you feel me, like circumstances determine. So it's like, in there, to be popular or to have some type of rank or have some type of face, to be somebody with prestige, that go to whoever the most savage, like whoever is the most cutthroat, whoever is the most violent is who get the ranking up. So I feel like niggas just used to be trying to up the score, like, okay, that nigga, he stuck a broomstick over nigga, I'm gonna light a nigga on fire.
Wow.
Like, oh no, jeez, bro, them niggas on demon time, boy.
Yeah, it is demon time. Well, because like Florida has the reputation, and rightly deserved, for just having the craziest people.
Yeah.
So I guess that
the Florida man
is
notorious.
And I think that really makes sense when you describe what prisons are like there.
Yeah.
It's like nonsense violence.
Yeah. It didn't make no mother sense.
You know.
It ain't make no sense. It's like, but there's niggas out there that's like that. Like I wake up every day and I try to find ways to get me some money, or I might see a girl that I like, I might introduce myself, try to take her on a date. I'm trying to initiate a certain result. And it's niggas who wake up every day looking for a reason to fuck a nigga over, bro. Just like the same gratification that I seen to get out of getting money is niggas who get that same gratification off of knocking a nigga in the dirt.
Right.
So they exist, dog.
Just hurting people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think Haitian influence has something to do with the level of violence in Florida, like that crazy violence, or do you think that's just a perfect coincidence?
I mean, it's all part of the pot. You feel me? Like because it's like, okay, boom, you got Jamaicans, they super violent. Like not all of them, but like the niggas who call themselves gangsters in Jamaica is super violent. Yeah. If you call yourself a gangster and you Haitian and you from Haiti or somewhere like that, you super violent. So if you come over here, if you bring that here, I mean, niggas gotta adjust. You just it's like ain't no nigga trying to get bitched up. Ain't no nigga trying to get, you feel me, like whatever you had got going, you try to maintain that. So if a nigga come around on that crazy, you gotta kind of like find a way to match that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to find a way to even the score. So, I mean, all this play a role.
Yeah.
All this play a role.
So you got out with all your good time? Do you have good, is there good time in Florida? Like, or do you just do all of it?
You do down all they only give us 85%.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets 65. But like I said, I was in a youthful offender camp. So they had like an alternative for like a boot camp thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So off of the 2.5 years, off of the 30 months, I did 21. You know what I'm saying? Because I ended up killing the last 9 months because I did the boot camp.
Yeah.
Where you doing push-ups and sit-ups every day and the police spitting in your face and knocking you across your Yeah.
And they don't get written up for that or anything?
No.
Yeah.
I don't get rid of for that. It's dirty, bro. Matter of fact, the JIT camps was so up that they outlawed them. They don't got them no more.
Wow, is that right?
Now they just have like youthful offender dorms within regular adult prisons. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's one of the last places that had chain gangs, I think, is South Florida.
Yeah.
When they were building the railroads in Florida, like back in the early 20th century, they just basically just kidnap people. Like you could be like a guy who was kind of homeless or like just backpacking through like a town. And they would say, oh, he's loitering. And they would snatch him and charge him with like a crime, 10 crimes. Yeah. Now you're doing 5 years. And guess what? You're on the chain gang now. And that's how they built railroads, regular highways in Florida. It's all done on slave labor.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I be feeling like compared to like the rest of the South, like let's say like Mississippi, Alabama, like I feel like those states, got a reputation for kind of being redneck country racist.
Yeah.
I feel like people think of Florida, they see the palm trees and the Lamborghinis and the bad bitches, and they think that we ain't on that same type of time. It's the same type of time, but like those urban areas that's like developed like that, that's the minority. The majority of Florida, bro, is country shit. Like people, like, oh, even with cattle, you know what I'm saying? People think all the cattle is in Texas. Florida, the cattle capital of America, you feel me? Like we have, like when you talk about places like Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, all that stuff right outside of Jacksonville, or even in the Panhandle, bro, country.
Yeah, it's grimy. Most of it's grimy, but that's why Florida's fascinating because on the coast is all this wealth, and affluence,
exactly.
and on the inside it's just it's humid. Say, you know. So you came home. Were you putting out mixtapes at the time, or like what was the way to get on when you were in your 20s? What was the way to break in as a rapper?
By the time I went to state prison, I did like 3 mixtapes.
Okay.
And then I got out of state prison and I did a mixtape. I did a mixtape called Best Thing Flowing on my first one. Then I did another one called Trigger City Goon. And then like I kind of fell back from the music because I was making so much money in the streets. Like that's like somewhere like a little bit after that's when everything started taking off. And then
with what?
With the motion, nigga, I called the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Who's the plug?
The plug was I don't even know what his ethnicity was. He had to be some type of Hispanic because of what his last name was, but it was I think it was a Hispanic dude out of Humboldt.
For coke?
Nah. I fucked it with the bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked it with the bud. That's how I blew up. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to hand that different, but I mean, once I ran across that plug, and it felt like a nigga, bro, like damn, it was printing the money. I remember the first time, like nigga telling me these numbers, like he got pounds for $1,600, and at the time, I was paying $3,200 for a pound.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that sound fake. I'm skeptical, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I want to try my hand. I want to see what it's about. So sent my money.
Okay, so this is a guy in Humboldt County, California.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in Humboldt County, California.
So you got that's the plug. That's the weed. That's the weed version of finding the guy in Medellin, Colombia.
Nigga,
right. That's where I was getting my from.
Yeah. It don't get that's the Mecca, nigga. That's the Holy Land. You know what I'm saying? So
how'd you meet him?
I met him because I met him through the nigga that ended up telling on me. It was actually like nigga that ended up telling on me knew a girl that moved out there, and I think that ended up being her boyfriend. Something like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
well, anyways, so you gave it a test run. You sent him your money out.
Yeah, and that bitch came through.
And you got the dope back.
Yeah, that bitch came through, and I remember I pulled into the motherfucking dollar store on 18th and 22nd, and I served a nigga, like I done had to keep my poker face on because it was crazy to me. Like, I was just paying $3,200.
And now you got it for $16.
And then I served it to a nigga for $3,200.
Yeah.
And I made $1,600.
And you just doubled what it would have taken you 10 pounds to make.
You know
just
what
made
I'm saying? Like, bro, I made $1,600 for shaking a nigga hand. He happy, I'm happy. Like, and then the thing about it, the bud was way better than anything else that was in St. Pete. Yeah. And it was like, and even me getting them at 32 at that time, I'm getting them for 32 and I can still wholesale. You know, I break down too, but I can still wholesale. So it's like 32 a good ticket.
Yeah.
You know what
so
I'm
now
saying?
Everybody down the chain eats. Like your people are happy when you're giving it to them for 32.
Yeah, bro, I'm watching niggas buy cars and watching niggas open up studios and watching niggas do like. And when I sold that first bowl and made $1,600, like I just like after the dog pulled off, I was still just sitting in the car like, how many times can I do that? I could do that 10 times. I could do that 20 times. I could do that 100 times.
Only 100 times, and now you got
160 bands.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do that shit 100 times.
It kind of feels like it truly made me a religious man when that happened to me. I was like, oh, I think the Lord, I think this is God intervening.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of did too, man. like, bro, I swear
all
I
that
was
voodoo.
like,
that your
But
mom
I
had been
kind
doing.
of felt that way too because like I just was a good nigga and I did good things with it. You know what I'm saying?
So your price was 16. That is incredible. So I didn't even have the ticket, but I'm older than you. When the prices were still a little higher.
This was like 2014.
Yeah. So now California's weed is basically fully legal by this time on the West Coast. So West Coast growers need cats in places like the South to get their work off because it's not moving like it was out here back in the day. So, okay, how did this ramp up?
I mean,
because now you got to get it all. Now you need quantity.
It was like everything was easier back then though, because nobody was up on game. I didn't know nobody who did this. Like that sounded crazy to me. Like the idea of getting drugs sent in the mail. Like I think I had like one Mexican partner who had like a big ass like metal thing and he got like a bunch of like that Mexican brick weed sent in the mail when we was just or something. But like that seemed like some sophisticated kind of like, I don't know how he even did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So but as far as my circle, like I didn't know anybody else in my circle or in my city that had that going at that time. So then it was just easy to fly under the radar, bro. Like it was the mail was touching down and the money was touching down. I used to buy like a phone book or like, not a phone book, but I used to want something like a phone book. So what I used to buy was like SAT books or ACT books. I put $100 bills all through that bitch and then I ship it. That bitch never got knocked off. If I was extra paranoid about something, it was like a one of them smoke shops in my area where you can get like custom made bongs and like that. And I vacuum seal the money and have them make a bong like a vase almost to where it's like you can't even see the money, touch the money, nothing of that. And then when the plug will get it, he'll just take that bitch, shatter it, and the money will be in there. But like all the money was touching down. Like I took a couple losses at the beginning when I didn't know what I was doing, but like all the money was touching down. And then the pipes, they was like 95% touching down, but I'm doubling my money. So the ratio way more in my favor. If I lose 1 out of every 20 and I'm doubling up every time, okay, so I done ate off the first 18 and then number 19 make up for number 20. We keep this rolling.
How many were you getting at a time?
Back then I only needed to get like 10 a week. So I was like getting 10 a week and I'd make like 15, 16,000 every week. But then if I wanted to go like, let's say it was like Croptober, you feel me? Like that time of the year where everything is in abundance. I want 100. But if I want 100, I'm gonna go out there so I can pick everything, make sure it's good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like I was keeping in that range. Like if I was just on some, you know, like the routine was pretty much the 10 a week. And then if I really but when it came time for me to snap, I go out there myself and bring back 100.
How would you bring 100 pounds back?
The mail.
Wow. Oh, between how many boxes?
We would do 2 boxes for every address, and every box could hold like 3.
Oh, so it's a lot of boxes you're sending out.
Yeah, but that's how sweet it was at that time. Them bitches was landing.
Yeah. You using UPS or FedEx or?
USPS priority shipping.
Yeah.
2 to 3 days. I used to track them bitches on my phone. Green check, green check, green check. That mean that bitch landed. Green check, green check. Yeah. But like, it was sweet. I mean, I switched it up a little bit. Like I wouldn't have all the pounds coming to the same city and like that. But yeah, bro, that was the method.
You just paying people to use their addresses?
Hell yeah, this was back in the Golden area. Bitch, rent was $700, $800. I'm paying whole rent. Like,
yeah. What's a box? Yeah.
And
doesn't even have your name on it.
I'm like, look, man, if this bitch get knocked off, only thing that's gonna happen because they can't say that you consented for it to be here.
Right.
So they can't really pin it to you. They might start watching you and you ain't got nothing going. It wasn't nothing.
When you got the box, were you waiting there for the mailman, or how did you kind of insulate yourself?
Nah,
or did you have them bring the box to you?
Nah, they're just. What I would do, I would tell them not to touch it. I tell them not to touch it. I like, man, if you can, like, make sure don't nobody with it, but don't touch it. And I just come through and scoop it like that way to just keep even less possibility they could try to act like they was in on it. You feel me?
Yeah. I met a guy who would say when he got weed sent through the mail, he would get the box delivered to his address and he wouldn't touch it for like 3 or 4 days. Like he would just bring it into his house, just leave it there. It was under a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
So if the cops raided, he's like, look, I think it was just a mistake. I haven't even opened the box.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have my name on it.
Yeah.
So different little methods like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you were just cowboying it.
Yeah. I mean, like with me.
I was too.
Like with them, I was super protective. I didn't want nothing to happen to my peoples or whatever. Cause most of them was people that I think that everybody I genuinely with. And that ain't my stilo anyway. Like, even if I didn't know you like that, I wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? But
how many people were working for you? Were taking work off you?
What do you mean, like with the bosses?
Yeah, how many people were you giving pounds to?
Like selling pounds to?
Yeah. Yeah, like how many people did you have?
A lot. But I ain't gonna lie, back then niggas wasn't buying pounds like that. Like I had like a couple niggas who bought 5 and 10, but it ain't like how it is now when niggas buy 50 and 100. Like back then, like I still sold zips back then. I used to sell zips for $200. I'm making $100 off a zip. These niggas out here selling pounds making $100 now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the game was just different. Like that's why them 10 a week used to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. People don't realize like that's Fed time.
Yeah.
But that's because you could make so much money off of it. You're making like cocaine money off of weed.
Yeah, back then it's like I said, I'm paying 16, and then it's like the going rate was like 32. I think I would started selling them for like 28 though, but like I would still sell zips for like $200, a QP for $800 and shit.
Still
like
breaking
that.
down. That's crazy.
But it's like if a nigga buy a QP off me, I made $400, and I might have 10 niggas buy QPs in a day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's 4 pounds gone that day. That's $4,000 in one day.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's
It's more work. It's more risk. It's more people you got to deal with. But yeah, you're just maximizing your dollar, and you had the best product.
Yeah, and niggas just didn't have it like that back then, bro. Like niggas wasn't spending like. Just everything turned up now. These young niggas got this turned up. Like these young niggas having like a 10 ball like to spin. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but just back then niggas didn't have that. And then on top of that, it's like if the way this shit is now with these young niggas, it's like I feel like they don't have confidence in their hustle. So once they spend their money, I just had 10,000, now I got nothing. That anxiety set in. They're a little too anxious to get that 10,000 back. They start thinking like, okay, I had 10,000. If I get it away for next to nothing, if I make $100, like let's say I spend 10,000, I get 10 pounds. If I sell these bitches for 1,100, they gonna sell today. I'm gonna make $1,000 in one day. I'm gonna have my money back, so I'm gonna get rid of this feeling in my stomach, and I can do this again. And that's what the game is now.
Well, I think that's just one method. Right, I'm gonna barely take just 1 point off of each unit, but it's moving so fast that I'll take a G a day. Also, there's so much work that like these connects are probably just giving them 50 for the price of 10 because they need it. They need it to move.
Like that's what shifted. That's why it's like a nigga be up here say something like they moving 10 pounds a week, but I'm making 16,000 a week. Versus like nah. A nigga move 50 pounds a week and he might only be making 5,000.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So the game's just different.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Yeah, so business is good. How long are you running like this for?
Like 3 years. 2014, 15, summer 2014, 15, summer 16.
So you're bubbling. You're making, this is $1 million operation.
Yeah, nigga get into it. Cause it ain't even just me. It's me. And the nigga that ended up folding on me, he was actually making more money than I was. Yeah.
Were did you have a plan? You're a sharp guy. Were you investing in your own music? Like were you trying to push it?
I was putting money behind other artists. We had a neo soul artist named Arikai. She's still doing her thing. She's super fire. I was trying to put some money behind my homeboy Fabo. Fabo actually out here from the West Coast. He's from San Diego. And like since he went his own way, he been bubbling, doing well. You know what I'm saying? My little dog Trey Southside, God bless the dead, he was doing his thing. So I was putting money behind people that was making music, but that still kept me in the mix with the music.
But you weren't rapping yourself, doesn't sound like.
Yeah, not too often. You know what I'm saying? Then we started getting into the club promoting. So we was bringing different artists like Young Dolph, Young Scooter. We brought Kodak Black. And then I had my clothing line, Finesse Clothing. I'm still pushing that. So, like, I was putting my money behind those things.
Okay. So 2017 is when it ended?
2016.
Okay.
That's why I say some of 16, like not the whole 16.
What? So your partner, your Cody, ratted on you?
Yeah, like, it was a crazy story. The nigga, like, lost his mind. It is like, I feel like sometimes, like, when I'm trying to describe the play-by-play, like how this went, I don't know how to get people to understand the severity of just mentally what happened to this nigga. Cause like dog used to be, you feel me, like getting money, popping it, like he was swift. But he was schizophrenic, and I ain't know that. It was like 1 year during school where he disappeared for a year. We thought it was because he got caught with some weed old time. He had tripped out then.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's hereditary. That got handed down to him. So he on the West Coast in the middle of Michigan. Got like a quarter $250,000. Like half mine, half his. He's supposed to be bringing this back. And the nigga just called me one day talking crazy as and never went back to normal. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So he ended up catching, I don't know exactly what the charge was, but he got up in Humboldt. I know it was some type of trafficking or whatever. His bond was $75,000. He bonded out. After he bonded out, he came back to Florida and he bought his court date. So now his bond gets revoked and then he gets a failure to appeal, which comes with no bond. Anybody, I don't know how familiar everybody is with the system, but that's what happened. If you don't go to court, your bond for your original charge get revoked and you're going to get a new felony failure to appeal, which has no bond. Then he went back to California, but he didn't go to Humboldt. He went to L.A.
How did he get out if he didn't have a bond?
No, he bonded out.
Okay, I see.
He had a $75,000 bond. He bonded out, came to Florida, didn't go, but he stopped. He didn't go to his court dates.
Yeah, that's right. Back in Cali.
He didn't go to his court dates in Cali, so he ended up with an FTA. They revoke his bond, and now he has the warrant for the FTA too. He goes back to California, but he goes to L.A. Then he had a cousin, he claimed, that put him up on game about the planes, where, you know, niggas putting the pounds in the vacuum seals and they put them in the suitcases and they flying them across. So we was about to start doing that. And our very first attempt at doing that, he got jammed up in the airport. So now you got a nigga that got jammed up in LA, LAX, with pounds, already has an FTA, and already has his bond revoked for a previous trafficking charge, and you just caught him trying to bring pounds through the airport, not going to Humboldt, still trying to go to Florida, still not for the report. And then he get released on his own recognizance.
Nope.
Not only that, but all my paperwork says that a LA rat led to my arrest. I just told you. Ain't had no business in LA. Never been to LA. Didn't deal with nobody in LA. Everything was out of Humboldt. So when I'm looking at my paperwork and it's saying a nigga in LA told on me, I know who the nigga is. You know what I'm saying?
So they just took his name out of the discovery?
Yeah.
The paperwork?
Yeah, but it's just like, you know, like everything they saying, even the 230 pounds. Like when the crackers blitzed my, I ain't had 230 pounds, I had 20-something pounds. He went over there to get 230 pounds, half of me, half of him. That's what he went to do. So even like when they talking about how many pounds it is, I never got caught with that. He got caught with that. LA drug pro led to my arrest. I don't deal with nobody in LA. Boy, you went to jail in LA. You got released on your own recognizance after getting your bond revoked, after having an FTA, after trying to come through the airport again. You a flight risk like a bitch. It ain't no way you get released on your own recognizance. You ain't get released on your own recognizance when you caught the first charge without all the extra crazy. Your bond was $75K.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay, so he's doing a lot of talking and a lot of walking. After he gets released on his own recognizance, did you know any of this had happened?
I did know about the first case. I knew about the first case, but he was just downplaying it. He like made it seem like I got caught with like 6-7 pounds, and then it happened in California, so I'm thinking that's even more petty.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to get a private investigator. Like once I caught my case, I got a private investigator.
How long after he got popped in LA did you get raided and catch your case?
It been so long, I don't remember. I just know that I got raided like 3 days after I told him where I lived.
Okay.
I don't remember because like
so it was immediately after, basically.
Immediately after he found out where I stayed, because what he did, he was trying to tell on other niggas that he didn't like. Like it was like a couple niggas we had problems with or whatever, and he was like he played friendly, like he wanted to piece it up, but like them niggas wouldn't let him in their game room enough for him to get the intel necessary to tell on them, and he already knew my play out, and like my, because it was his operation too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
so he had to give him something that they could
really
give
use
him
something. Like I don't think I was his first option, but like the nigga still played it how he did. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like once you done agreed and you done got let out, you gonna come up with something. Otherwise, the severity of your situation gonna be tenfold, and you already wasn't ready for the pressure that came with it initially. You know what I'm saying?
How many pounds did he get jammed up with at the airport?
That's what I'm saying. Like I know that he went out there to buy 200. But like the way I say 230, like he went out of the boat enough money to buy 200. That was the plan, about 200. But if we buy 200, we might get fronted a little bit, or maybe they added the 23 that they got off me at the crib. I don't know how they got 230. Or maybe he found a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like he had enough money because like we might go out there with, let's say, we expecting to pay 16, but you might run across someone that's like 14, they'll get the job done. You know what I'm saying? I just know I never got caught with anything past 23 pounds. And they talking about 200. That's what he got caught doing.
Okay, so you got raided after he gets out of the situation at LAX. You got raided in Florida at the crib. Yeah,
because he came back. He was working, trying to flip other niggas. He couldn't really get the intel he was looking for. He had a baby on the way. You feel me? This my ace boom coon. We like tight. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just know if I was in one of those situations, how I play it, I'd take my lick. You know what I'm saying? I fell back from dog, not even because of the case. I fell back, like I said, he was having a mental breakdown. Dog was just moving weird.
Yeah.
So then I just started to feel kind of guilty. You feel me? Like, that's my nigga. I ain't feel like I was handling him right. So then, like, I got a new crib. He had his lady and a baby on the way. I usually don't be having no lady, but I had a lady at that time. So I was just like, I'm going to invite him over. My bitch can be his bitch. We could piece this shit up and get back on, like, rocking and rolling like how we been doing. And he sent him in my yeah.
So the crib got hit. You were at home when they raided?
Nah, I was doing my 1-2 like I usually do, but I had coming in. I had some pipes coming in to Sarasota. I had some pipes coming in to St. Peter, I think. And when they first like opened up surveillance on me, is when I came back from, like, the girl from Sarasota, she had met me at Tampa International Mall. We went and got something to eat. I get a box and I come back. That's when they got me under surveillance. So they watching me make my moves. I went to like a 7-Eleven kind of by my apartments. I called a nigga. They watched me do that. I went to some apartments by my apartments, called a nigga. They watched me do that. Then I had some in the hood because I was staying like in some like luxury shit. Like I was like deep north. I was like as far as St. Peter as you can get before you get to Tampa. So I shoot to the hood, I'm out the realm of surveillance. And then when I come back, I got the box that I picked up off one of my little dogs. And, I'm walking up to the apartment. And when I'm walking up to the apartment, I go to take the key fob to open up my gate because it's like a dude standing by there who can't get in. And he making it sound like he on the phone, you feel me, like talking to the people who staying there like, hey, man, I'm standing at the gate. I can't get in this bitch. And, I already had a key fob, so I ain't no pressure at all. I got you. I go to open the gate for him to let him in, and then he grabbed me. And when he grabbed me, I'll tighten up. Like, I'm down there ready to fade because I don't really know what's going on, but this nigga just put his hands on me, and he starts saying, police, police, police. Then I start looking around, and these bitches jumping out of bushes. They coming from behind cars. The police was everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Was it feds?
No, it was SPPD.
Okay.
But they had one federal person there. That's how I should have knew my was gonna go fed. They had it was literally one officer there who was SPPD/ATF. And he told me he was gonna send my case to the feds. I don't know why I ain't believe it.
Yeah, they usually have that's what happened with me. Like a DEA guy showed up because like they usually let the local pigs have the weed, and then the DEA guy's there just overlooking, seeing if they can make a Fed case out of it.
Yeah.
Like seeing if you're worth it, basically. Because
Yeah.
you might just be a guy with a couple of pounds, you know.
Yeah.
But then they caught a whale. They were like, "Oh, this guy's a player."
Cause like what they did, they had pictures of the inside of my apartment. The maintenance man in my apartment that went in my shit and took pictures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, they really did reconnaissance on you.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I get I need to take the time to like kind of look into that because he intentionally waited for me not to be there. It's because like it say this on like the statement that he gave or whatever, that he came to the apartment and he knew that me and my chick was in there because he heard like the laundry machine going, he heard people talking, he heard music playing, and he left. Like he deliberately waited until I wasn't there to go on my shit. But he claimed he was responding to a work order. But when we subpoenaed the records, because the blue work order in my apartment, you can't call, you got to do an email. There was no work orders for my building, my entire building that day. And there was no work orders for my building, like, okay, because you know it's more than one floor. So like my floor in my building didn't have any work orders for that entire week. And my building didn't have no work order for that day. So what work order are you claiming you was fulfilling?
Yeah. So and what would that do? What would you sue him, or would you try to? What it
would have did at the time, it would have proved that the warrant was founded with malicious intent, and the whole case would have went away.
You think so?
That's
maybe.
Yeah, that's how I go. But it's like I just didn't. I was running out of time. Like if it would have stayed state, that's probably how it would have went. But it went fed, and when it went fed, I couldn't get a bond, and I had to give my lawyer extra $10,000. And it's just, and then you know the feds, they like. They're asking you within 30 days if you want to go to trial. So then and I was charged with a 924C, which is using, I had other charges too, but the 924C is using a gun in the furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, which carries 5 years to life. So if I go to trial and I lose, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, like potentially have a life sentence.
And you had a gun at the apartment?
I had 3 guns and all.
What's Florida?
Yeah, I
Obviously.
mean, and slick, like what's so crazy, because like that's what they do. They like I would have just got felon in possession of a firearm and then possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, whatever. But the reason why I got the 924C, where they say I was using a gun in the furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, is because the gun was within arm's reach of the drugs, which I feel like I could have beat because the maintenance man took all the stuff and put it together to take the picture. You can look at the pictures.
How did he find the drugs in the apartment? You didn't mention that. I thought
it was in a cabinet. Like you could smell it. So he was just in there doing shit. Like the gun was sitting on the kitchen counter. The only reason the gun was on the kitchen counter because my little brother was looking at it before he left the house, like the day before.
Okay. So you didn't mention that. This is big. We thought when you said the maintenance man went in there to take pictures, I assumed it was just to give the cops like a layout of the place. He actually went in there and photographed drugs and your guns.
Yeah.
That is something that you could maybe get.
Yeah, and then
tossed.
when he took the pictures, it ain't like he just had it how he found it. He put it together almost like they would for their evidence photos.
Right.
Like, and then you can see different pictures where like some of my cleaning supplies was here, and then he moved them out of the way and different like he was moving shit around. So it's like I feel like if you're gonna say I had a gun within arm's reach of the drugs, you can't really say that because we have different photos where the guns and the drugs is arranged differently. He's moving it around. But it's just like, I just got partners who went to trial. Like my partner Keith, he could have got 2 years. He went to trial, he got 15.
Wow.
You know,
in the feds?
Nah, his was state. It's just like I knew that if I copped out, I was gonna get an amount of time that I could handle.
Right.
And
and you're in the feds now too, so it's a lot nicer.
Yeah. So it's just like the money was running out, and it's like, and they beating me, bro. Like, like the private investigator, he wanted me to pay him for 10 hours at a time, and I'll pay him for 10 hours. He'll come back, give me 3 sheets of paper, and say he worked 10 hours.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just bleeding, nigga. So.
And you're in the county jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's only so much you can control from jail.
Bro, I'm spending $700 a month on phone calls. And So.
Yeah. Did they arrest your girl?
Nah. They threatened to arrest her though. Interesting.
So what involvement? I imagine your co-D showed them. He told the whole operation. Told them where you lived. Did he do anything else? Any more cooperation beyond that? He probably would have taken the stand, I imagine, if you had gone to trial, right?
Yeah, he probably would have. It was another nigga he told on too, though. There was another nigga told on, ain't no case come behind it. It was like another time he was coming through the airport with some money. And he told the police that he got the money from somebody.
Yeah.
That wasn't involved in nothing at all. And then the police contacted him because he gave them his phone number as well. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much, it was a Don Dada for now.
So they stacked, because of his word, they were able to put together 230 pounds, 200 pounds from Humboldt plus the 30 or 23 that was at your house. So is that a mandatory 10 years?
No,
or do you get to split that?
But that's why I be saying what I be saying. Like, I never got charged with 200. And that's why I know it's a nigga telling on me. It's in my relevant conduct.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain what that is for people?
Yeah, so in the feds, they got, like in your PSI, they got a part called relevant conduct. So like relevant conduct is like, hey, we can't prove this, but this is what type of nigga, like that's what type of, that's funny. That's what,
that's where you got
that's
the name.
what type of like individual we dealing with.
Right.
So it's like for example, like I had a big homie named fella who got charged. He caught 30 years for possession. The charge was possession of crack 50 grams or more. They gave him 30 years for that. That's all they could prove. His relevant conduct said 200 kilos of crack.
So basically it's to sway the sentencing.
It's to sway the sentencing because he got a nigga saying, oh, I bought 5 kilos off him every week. And he got another nigga saying he bought 10. He got another nigga saying he bought 2. Okay, how long have I been doing this? I bought them 10 a week for a year. Well, that's 500 bricks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they'll put that in the relevant conduct. They can't prove it, but a nigga went on the stand and said it.
Right. And so then if he blows trial, if he loses, then the judge looks at the relevant conduct. He or she can give your partner fella the minimum, but she can also give him the max, which is life. For like anything in the feds, you can get maxed out basically for life. She's going to give... She's gonna, what do they call it? An upward departure.
Upward departure, exactly.
Oh, it's so unconstitutional. It's so unconstitutional.
The fair system, though, it's all based on cooperation.
Yeah, but it's also that sentencing should only be for the crime that they've proven. The burden of the proof is on the state or on the government, the federal government. This is what common law is. This is what makes America special. But that's not what you're getting sentenced. You're getting sentenced off speculation.
If you look at my relevant conduct, it say I threatened to hurt police officers. It say that I had way more drugs than I got caught with. It just say a bunch of like accusatory stuff.
Right. So what did they offer you and what did you take?
I ended up getting 7 to 8 months. That's 6.5 years.
Yeah.
That's 6.5 years for felon in possession of a firearm and using a gun in the furtherance of a drug trafficking offense. They dropped all the drug charges.
Ah.
Yeah.
They just did that on their own, or it took some pressure from your lawyer?
I had a little leverage because I had a civil case, and technically with a civil case, you can still subpoena people. And they didn't want me to do that. So, like, I had a little leverage because of that.
Yeah, if you show them any holes in their case, even if you're still kind of guilty or kind of overwhelmingly guilty, they'll start to loosen the arm.
Because even though the civil case wasn't a criminal case, if you get subpoenaed and you speak officially on the record for a civil case, what's said in the civil case can be used as, evidence in the criminal case. Like that's what just happened to Diddy with the Cassie situation. Like once she opened up the door with the lawsuit, that she said on the lawsuit was officially on the record.
Right.
And that made it possible for all these other things to happen.
Right.
So I had a situation where I could have did them like that. So I got, I think that's how the drugs went away.
Okay, that makes sense.
The guns was more time anyway, though.
Where'd you do your time?
Mostly at Coleman.
USP Coleman?
Nah. I was at the low.
Okay.
But I moved around. I went to Talladega. I went to Mariana. I went to... Atlanta, Tallahassee. I think that was it.
You must have thought your rap career was done.
Definitely thought about it. Yeah. Cause it's like at the time, especially when I went in, everybody that was blowing up was teenagers. Like in 2016, the freshman class on XXL was like Kodak Black, Lil Yachty,
right?
Samo, who was an under 20, maybe barely over 20. I know G Herbo was on. I think the oldest one was Dave East, and he was like 27, and I knew I wasn't finna get out till I was 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember being in the county, like calling my bitch, like, "Hey, how old Young Dolph is? Oh, he 31. How old Kevin Gates is? Oh, he 30 years old." I'm like, "Oh, I might still be able to fuck around."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, but, Rick Ross, Port of Miami didn't come out till he was 30.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was definitely a time when I was in there, like, damn, bitch, I gotta get out. I gotta run this money up. I gotta build my buzz back. So it was times where it wasn't seeming that realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, how'd you keep your head straight? That must have been depressing. Or you want to get depressed?
I don't be thinking about it. It's like if I choose to think about it, I get depressed. Like, but I didn't used to think about it, you know. Like I just I did as much as I could to increase my chances of winning. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only time I really get depressed when my hands tied, if I ain't got no fight. If I have a fight, I'm gonna fight. And I get so caught up in the fight, I don't got time to be depressed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm in that bitch writing. I'm in this bitch reading every music business book I can find. I'm networking a little bit. I'm working out, you know what I'm saying? Trying to keep my swag where it need to be. Like my mind was always on, okay, like I'm gonna do as much as I can from in here to increase the probability that I'm gonna blow when I jump.
So when'd you come home?
March 28th, 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you left the dirt alone. Did you think about like trying to run your money up, doing like some quick, packages?
Nah, because it's just like my case was high profile and I'm from a small city, so it's like, they're gonna be on a nigga trail. So I had a little bit put up, you know what I'm saying? And I just I had a lot of success with my clothing line when I first got out. My credit was real good. And my credit was good on accident because I had a credit card that I maxed out when I first went in promoting my mixtape. And my mama just made minimum payments on that bitch the whole time I was in there. So the next thing you know, the card was already like a year and a half old. And then I did 5.5. So I got 7 years worth of
payments.
7 years worth of on-time payments on this bitch. So it's like I put a little more but I first seen it when I first seen it in 2020. That's when I was at Coleman. I had a phone, and then I had a partner from Lauderdale that was like schooling me on the credit game. So I ended up getting some more credit cards. So by the time I got out, I had 5 credit cards, but like the cornerstone of my credit was like that one card I had for them 7 years. So then I was able to get like big lines, like $25,000 on my USAA, $21,000 on the BOA, personal loans for $30,000 without even, and they didn't even have a hard pull on my credit. My credit was so good I didn't have to provide proof of income.
Wow.
I put it on paper that I was a truck driver and I made $128,587 in 2001. And that's just glees, you feel me? I put truck driver because...
If you want to know why America is $36 trillion in debt, this is part of the reason.
This is part of the reason, boy. But
okay, but this is good to know for people. Like you can access, if you have good credit, you can actually access...
This free sauce. That's why I put the truck driver, because they make a lot of money and they can be felons. They can have gold teeth. They can have tattoos. Bitch, I can't put, I'm no doctor.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But I drive a truck.
Right. So you could basically access cash. If you have good credit, you can access cash through these different lines of credits on different credit cards.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what you did.
Yeah.
So what was the plan? How are you going to take that money?
I mean, I made a couple investments or whatever, but I mostly just used that money to keep everything afloat while I was chasing it.
And what was your like attack plan for breaking in when you came home?
My plan when I ended up getting this deal, was like, okay, I wanted to drop like one song a month.
And does that include a video with it?
I was gonna drop one song a month for the first 6 months. No, the first 5 months. And then month number 6, I was gonna drop an album / mixtape. And then month number 7, I was gonna spend the second half of that year promoting all the music I had released the first half of the year. So the first 5 months, I want to drop one song a month just to kind of wake people up. Then I was gonna drop the whole project, and then I kind of had like 100 bands to the side, and I was gonna spend like $4,000 every week for the rest of the year, just pushing it. Whether it be influencers, bloggers, interviews, whatever it took type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
now, what about beats? Where do you source your beats?
It depends. I got homeboys that make good beats. But then I had noticed like before I left, everybody beats came from people that they knew. Like people kind of stayed away from the YouTube beats and stuff like that. But like when I got out, it was the opposite. Everybody wanted to that sounded the best. So like a lot of times the niggas who got the most clout got the best sound, and people were just going on YouTube getting beats.
Yeah.
So it's like the way that it works is like if I steal a beat, if I just get a beat off YouTube and I make a song to it, more than likely ain't nothing gonna happen. And the only way that something is gonna happen is if the song blow up. And if the song blow up, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Because by default, the producer owns 50% of the publishing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if me and you don't reach an agreement on your beat and I just take it, all that's gonna happen is, okay, you made $1 million off this beat. Off of that $1 million, 500 of it is for the composition of the song. Half of that goes to producer, so you owe him $250,000.
Yeah.
But in order for me to owe you $250,000, I gotta make $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Good problem.
So yeah, exactly. So it's like,
fascinating.
So everybody's just going on YouTube getting these beats. So the first song that I dropped, 2024, because this when everything happened, was called Shifting. My dog Chaney made that beat.
Who?
That's my homeboy Chaney.
Okay.
So Shifting is kind of more like Florida boy swag, you feel me? Like niggas down south like it, like Broward County, Palm Beach, and Dead, because it's kind of like some you stick to. Like stick, like that's kind of like, it's like a dance, it's like a way of dancing, but then it's also like kind of when the niggas take X pills, like the type of music they like to hear when they rolling and like that. So like that's kind of more that swag. But then I did Type of Nigga. So Type of Nigga was kind of more like my homeboy Taz made that beat, but I didn't know Taz at the time. Taz is a nigga who, he kind of made that Detroit sound. And he done mastered it. He one of the toughest niggas at it, you feel me? So
how did you get Ross on that beat?
Ross, okay, so when I was in the feds, I was locked up with a nigga named Kano. Kano was a Haitian nigga from Miami. He originally from New York, but he moved to Miami. And back when the Zopound niggas was blitzing the boats for the bricks, like they was calling them pirates because they was running on the boats and stealing everything.
All the work?
Yeah, so an informant actually told him like, hey, I know a boat that got some bricks on it. And when Kano ran on the boat, the agents was waiting for him. You feel me? It wasn't never no bricks. It was just a setup. So he ended up falling behind that. We locked in behind the wall. We was both at Coleman. We always kept each other information. So when I went to like pushing my route, I was sending it to him and he would play it for Ross. So that's how Ross heard it. Ross was up about it.
Wow.
And it started off, Ross just liked the song, but then he went from liking the song to want to get on the song. Then he went from getting on the song to signing me. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kept gradually going up.
Wow. Okay, so had you released the song before Ross got on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you re-released it because everything I saw on the video, like on YouTube and on Spotify, all features Rick Ross.
Once I got down with MMG, we repackaged it and re-released it.
Okay, because it doesn't even say remix on it. It's just like it's a brand new, but that's smart, I think. Yeah. Because it looks like you just came out out of nowhere. You're this guy out of nowhere.
It's all still recent.
Yeah.
Ross moved off of inspiration. That nigga moved fast.
So I assume you didn't have to pay him. He wanted to be on this.
Yeah, he got on it for free.
Yeah.
But then he was like, Dad, I'm a sign him.
Okay, so tell us, because I'm fascinated by the music business nowadays in the digital world, how does a guy like Rick Ross make money off of you? How does his record label make money off a guy like you?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. Like I know in theory, but
how much money did he pay you a lump sum to sign you, or what does that look like? And is that is that big money?
He gave me a nice bag, but it's is it
seven? Is it seven figures?
Totally.
Okay.
But it's like I don't know how he like me. I don't know how he gonna make that money. I feel like he knows something I don't know because he been in the music industry. It's like I know how to describe it. Like I know like once somebody on like somebody like Travis Scott, somebody like Drake or Rod Wave, I know that once these niggas drop, what type of numbers they do. And it's like, so I guess if I was at that level, I could tell you how you gonna make the money back. I don't know what has to be done for a nigga to get there.
So what do you have to, he signed you for like how many records?
On the way the deal structured, it's like, it's options. Right now I'm on the sign for one album, but we have options, like just depending on how good the business go. If we both like how it's going, we have the option to extend the contract. If we don't like how it's going, like pretty much I can't get stuck. It ain't gonna be no situation where like I'm just put on a shelf and I can't release music indefinitely.
Like how they used to artists over, you owe us this many albums. It's not like that anymore.
Like that. We gonna run it this, we like the way that it's set up, we gonna run it this one time, see how it go.
So you basically got 7 figures for one album.
Nah, like, yeah, when you put it like that, it's something like that. It's something like that.
Does he get a slice of like when you go on tour? Do you keep all that money, or does he get a slice of that?
The majority of the money get recouped from the music. The rest of the rest of the stuff that I got going on, if he get anything, is small.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like the majority of the money that's made from the record deal is from the record label, is still from like Spotify spins, YouTube spins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because those are different deals. Like your publishing, you would get a publishing deal. Your merch, you would get like a merch deal. You know what I'm saying? Them different type of deals. Like a record deal is a record deal. They paying you for the recording.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you talk about a song is two things. A song is the recording and the composition. So it's like if you got $2 that a song make, $1 goes towards the recording, $2 goes to, then the other dollar goes towards the composition. So if like you got Beyonce and Beyonce make a song, Beyonce gonna go in the studio and sing that song. That's her dollar because she recorded it. But let's say Neo wrote it. Let's say Develop made the beat. That's the composition. The words and like, the music that could be put on a sheet or something like that. That's the composition. Now you got some artists that's big enough to where Beyonce like, okay, I know I ain't writing nothing, but I still want some of the publishing.
Right.
But just to break it down, that's how it go. You got the publishing and you got the publishing, which is the composition of the song, and then the recording. Yeah. So when you sign a record deal, the money is coming from the recording.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So you're giving up your publishing. You're basically giving it all up. You're giving up those $2 in exchange for like a lump sum if you're getting a record deal. Is that correct? Or are you still getting...
No.
You're still getting that $1 and the record label keeps the publishing dollar.
The record label is going to recoup their money from the recording.
Okay.
Unless you sign a 360. If you sign a 360, then they might be able to get it other ways. But a record deal, a traditional record deal, they recoup their money from the recording.
Right.
Then you might sign a publishing deal. Then you might sign a touring deal.
I see. Okay, so that's all separate.
Yeah.
The record label is just the dollar from you singing, you rapping.
Yeah, unless you sign a 360.
Right. And that means they're taking money off your merch, your tours.
360, but they got 270s, they got 180s. They got different.
So it could just be carved out depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So then what about your publishing? Do you still, like with Rick Ross, he's taking the dollar from your recording. Do you own the publishing?
Publishing is like, it's worked out the well. It's like I own the publishing, but they still get
a piece of it.
So it's like I own the publishing. I own my music.
Yeah.
But they still get a percentage of the money that it generates.
Okay.
But it's just a small percentage, like real small compared to how much they made for the recording.
Right, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. So what else, what do you got to do to get that album out? Like, when can we expect it?
I mean, we playing it by ear. Like we just trying to time it. But if you look at the rollout, if you look at like the way that the gang going right now, people's debut albums are taking like a long time to come out. Like Glorilla debut album just came out like I think a month ago. But she blew up in 22. Like when she made Fuck Nigga Free, that shit was like in 2022. Then she had the song Tomorrow with Cardi B, and she put out what looked like an album to the fans, because we don't care. We just consume the music.
Yeah.
But like just me being a student of the game, I done took the time to look it up and see that her first project was considered a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it might feel like an album, but it's usually like the first agreement is usually a mixtape and an album.
Right.
So then that one that just came out last, that was her first album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're taking your time with it. It's one of two things happen in this day and age. You either really push a lot of mixtapes and singles, dropping videos in anticipation of the album, but then you got independent guys like Larry June that are dropping an album every month.
Yeah.
The output, or 2 Chainz is like that. The output is insane because it's so much cheaper to make a song now.
Yeah.
It's so it's part of the reason that a lot of the rap sucks is because they don't have anything to talk about because they're just competing to see how much music they can put out. So
yeah, because it's like that's the way algorithms work.
Yeah,
like,
stay in the algorithm.
Whenever something new, it do the best numbers. So if you keep on dropping, that's how you make the most money, because that's when you get the most streams.
So do you think you want to follow that route, or do you think you want to just?
Nah. I'm a quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? Like, like that's what inspires me to make music. Making a lot of music just so I can make more money and manipulate these little ass computers, that don't motivate me. That don't inspire me. It's like when I was a jit coming up, I used to read the back of XXL and the back of the Source magazine, because that's where they had the album reviews. Like, I know which albums got 5 mics. I know which albums got XXL reviews. Me creating a body of work like that connect on that level, that's what motivate me. Yeah. So I'm gonna take my time with it. I'm gonna
we'll see what happens. Once you blow, that money might motivate you to put some music out faster.
But you gotta think, Kendrick make more money than all these niggas, and he don't drop that often.
Right. He doesn't drop that, right?
But for sure. But Good Kid, Mad City been on the charts for 12 years straight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's why if you take your time and do it right, because I feel like I got the capacity to make an album like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gifted with the pen, or like I know how to do this rap for real. So it's like I'm in a different space, because now it's like I feel like in a way I perfected my craft as far as like the pen. But like I've never been in a position where I could be a full-time rapper, and like master the studio or master the stage. So that's the blessing that comes with this setup. You know what I'm saying? Just to develop completely as an artist.
That's right. And that's what you're doing now. Yeah, you're putting all those other pieces together in your toolbox. And you're going on tour with Rick Ross?
Whenever he goes, about it, he got an offer to go on a tour now. Right now he's just kind of like, he rap hustling. So it's like he get bags to go different places, and we show up and we show out. But there is an offer on the table for him to go on a tour. I don't know if he's gonna take it. If he take it, then I'll be opening for him. Yeah, that's a good look.
So yeah, I mean, and is it when you do drop your album, do you have to have new songs ready? Because I assume a few of these singles are gonna blow up, and now you're gonna be headlining, going out selling your own tickets.
Yeah, that's already been going on. Like,
are you moving tickets?
I'm still doing the clubs.
That's where it starts.
They throwing me on the fly so they could bring out all the dope boys and the bad bitches and like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
do you have to have new music? My question was like, after when your album drops and now people are coming to see you, do you have to have new songs ready for them, or can you just hit them with do they want to hear the hits?
People pretty much want to hear what they are already familiar with. So
That's
it's
true.
like you put it out there, you see what connect with them, and then you go over your highlight reel.
Yeah. That's
how you
better.
do it.
Music's way better than comedy in that regard because I do stand-up comedy. So,
Okay.
but once you drop your special,
Yeah.
you can't, because a joke is all about surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So once an audience has heard it, you can't really go to the club now because they're coming to see you. You have to have new. No, music, you want to hear the hits, man.
Yeah.
And then, you drop your new in between.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like the old MTV jams and we're breaking an artist here.
Yeah.
Have you gone? Are you going to go on No Jumper while you're out here?
Nah, I ain't locked in with no jumper yet.
I'll put you, if you're out here, I'll put you in touch with him. He's a good guy. He would have you on.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Bees, that's a BET.
You'll do that. You'll have so you do the podcast rounds out here, and man, like I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, most
what a journey. I bet your mom is floored. She's over the moon.
She hit me every day with like, I feel like weird questions, like off the wall questions, because like she excited, but it's like she just so intrigued by like the inner workings. Like, how does this work? How does this work? What you finna do next? What does this mean? You know what I'm saying? Those would be like the type of questions she had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you'll be the biggest rapper out of St. Petersburg.
Nah, Rod got the crown right now.
Who?
Rod Wave.
Oh,
Rod
I've
Wave
heard of that guy.
He got a crown right now. You feel me? Like, he got his lane and I got mine, but like, dog, like, up there.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, it's
like he do way bigger numbers than a lot of big rappers. Like, he ain't just like it's a lot of niggas on, but he just on.
Well, the beauty of it is, man, you don't even have to be a star anymore to eat like really tough. Because like if you find, I mean, Griselda is the best example.
Yeah. I like the lane them niggas got.
Man, they have an amazing lane.
Yeah.
Like, because they're for the hood, but they also get guys like me who love like really lyrical rap. Yeah. But they're not like rap stars.
And
but
they got layers to it, because like then they into fashion, then they into art, they into like
Yeah. So there's so much opportunity for ancillary business. You know, you don't have to be Dr. Dre anymore.
Yeah,
so,
but I ain't gonna lie, that's where the bag come from. And that son, that Rose be drilling in my head, like he'll show me the wells, he'll show me the cribs. Like, this shit don't come from the music, dog. Like, it just opened up the lane for you feel me? Like,
it comes from Wingstop.
It come from Wingstops. It come from like having a whole record label full of artists. It come from the Bel Air. It come from the Bamboo. It come from the car shows.
That's right. Exactly. So, man, well, I want to look at you, or listen to you on Spotify or see you, rolling with these giants and say, I had him on my show.
Yeah.
So let's get you a big push, man. Tell people where they can find you.
All right, so pretty much all my socials is the same. Real Nino Breeze, that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, that's on Twitter, that's on TikTok. The new that thread, everything the same. At Real Nino Breeze, you punch that in, you're gonna find me. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Apple Music, I'm pretty much there with all.
Yeah, and I would say start with his new single with Rick Ross. Like, if you just this is the best way to see him, and then just work your way into his library from there. Yeah, just go to Spotify. I was, banging it on loop on my way down here.
Yeah, most.
So
yeah, that first single, like, it's the perfect introduction. They're gonna let you know what I'm about.
And it's called
Type of Nigga.
That's it. Yes, and I would recommend next time not having the N-word in your song. We're gonna make you a little more mainstream.
Yeah.
People got to be able. Everybody's got to be able to say the title of it.
Yeah, we're gonna get it right on the next thing.
I'm like an old school music manager. I'm like, we got to make you a star. You got to change your name. No, man, it's Nino. It's been a pleasure, dude.
Already, but appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, check him out. Real Nino Breeze, up and coming for sure. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care.